It's time to take it to the max!
It's Thursday night and you know what that means. Welcome to Max Wrestling 348. This is your captain speaking and I am currently flying solo, awaiting the arrival of El Jefe. But 348, that means we're exactly 1 year away from our 400th episode. So this week we've got predictions for Full Gear, which I'm going to wait for. I was going to kick off the show with, but I'm going to wait for Moses because I know he's obviously going to want to predict that. One of the most anticipated AEW pay-per-views, but for fuck's sake, Tony, can you stop doing pay-per-views on a Saturday? Because, of course, I've got an open shift on Sunday, which means I'm sleeping Saturday evening and then pulling an all-nighter. Because I ain't missing cowboy shit, and I damn sure ain't missing Punk and Kingston. So before we get into all that, and while we wait for Moses, let's go back in time. It's This Week in Wrestling History. So, on November 5th, 2001, The Rock became a two-time WCW champion, defeating Chris Jericho on Raw. This episode also featured a hardcore title match, a US title match, a European title match, and Test defeated Edge for the Intercontinental Championship. Also on October 5th in 2015, Seth Rollins was forced to relinquish the WWE Championship after suffering a torn ACL during a house show in Dublin. And also on November 5th in 2017, Gail Kim defeated Ali and Sienna at Bound for Glory to win her 7th Knockouts Championship. She vacated the title a few days later on Impact and retired for the first time. On November 6, 1995, after the controversial finish to Halloween Havoc, where the Giant defeated Hulk Hogan for the WCW Championship by disqualification, the Giant was stripped of the WCW World Championship. Also on November 6, in 2006, former Promo Order member Brittany Savage appeared on SmackDown as Brittany Carter, facing Beth Phoenix. And on November 7th, 1979, Harley Race defeated Giant Baba on a house show in Amagasaki, Japan, to become a four-time NWA World Heavyweight Champion. This was the second of 4 title changes between the two of them between 79 and 1980. On November 7th, 2017, in a rare title change in the UK, AJ Styles defeated Jinder Mahal for the WWE Championship at a SmackDown taping in Manchester. On November 9th, 1997, need I say more? One of the most talked about scandals in pro wrestling history, the infamous Montreal Screwjob at Survivor Series. The night Bret Hart refused to drop the WWE Championship to Shawn Michaels and Vince called for the bell. And today in 2012, sorry, let me say that Emir style, 2012, Prince Devitt defeated Low IQ, aka Loki, for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship at New Japan's 40th anniversary. And birthdays this week: on November 5th, Alison Kay, aka Sienna, turned 34. On November 6th, Nick Aldis turned 35. AWA legend Ken Patera turned 79. On November 7th, Muhammad Hassan turned 40, and Tony Schiavone turned 64. On November 8th, Julia Hart turned 20, Kazuchika Okada turned 34, Keith Lee turned 37, and Ted DiBiase Jr. turned 39. On November 9th, Chris Jericho turned 51, Peter Dunne, aka Pete Dunne, turned 28. Yesterday, Cassie Lee turned 29, and today, happy birthday to Billy Gunn, who turns 58. LA Knight is 39 today, Crystal Marshall 38, and happy 27th birthday to Leo Rush. You know what, while we're waiting for Moses, why don't we just plug next week's epic special event promo series? How about that? Let's do it, here we go. Promo Series 6 Justice Day is next week. It's the first special event in the new era of Max Wrestling. Write it down, stick it on a post-it note. We begin this Tuesday with the first ever Ring of Games I promise you it'll be the most unique wrestling trivia you've ever seen, as Chad Malcolm, Moses Marquez, The Phoenix, and Travis Anderson compete to become the first ever Max Wrestling television champion. But that's only the first fight between these four, as The Phoenix defends the Knowledge Championship in the traditional winner stays on gauntlet against Chad, Moses, and Travis. Chance for somebody to walk away with 2 titles, but a chance for these two to walk away with 3 titles, as Chad also defends his World Championship against Moses Marquez, and it's a predetermined promo exhibition, which means the two of them know the outcome, nobody else does. And finally, after just over 3 years, Robert Davis takes his last ride in Max Wrestling as he steps up and bows out in a promo exhibition with The Shape. Promo Series 6 Justice Day, November 16th and 18th. Go to maxwrestling.net/Promo Series 6 for more information.
Didn't see you there. So here we are in Promo Climax week number 3. So you guys already know that I'm a multiple-time champion in RWT. I'm here, I'm there, I'm a little bit of everywhere. I'm the most must-see in all of RWT. But what you guys didn't know is that I'm also the RWT statistician. So what it is that they actually call me? The Stat Man. So I've been working on a formula today as to why I'm not only going to defeat my opponent this week, Mr. Larkin, I am also going to win the Promo Climax. So I've been crunching some numbers, doing a little long division, addition, subtraction, all that good stuff, and I've come up with this formula. The climax equation, if you will, as to why I'm not only going to win this week, next week, and the following week after that, month, match, whatever. It's all irrelevant at this point because I'm going to win it. And I want to take this opportunity to show you guys. So let's get started. So first off, we're going to take the number of victims as probably slayed over the years with his promos, and it's well over 9,000. I can tell you this much. On cold days in November when the wind hits the northeast direction, nature's words are just like poison and everybody dies in his path. But when he actually speaks, I'd have a hard time paying attention. So we're going to take that number, we're going to divide it by 7,000, and it's going to get us to the actual number of promos that Mr. Dinero might win, which is 0. That may be different at the time you guys see this, but I highly doubt it. We're going to take the chance of Mr. Larkin actually defeating me this week, which is no chance in hell. We're going to add the appeal of one Mr. Amir Blackbane's actual promos and the fierceness that he wishes to proclaim in his promos here, which is also 0, because he's not intimidating, because the guy is constantly smiling, and the promos are just not threatening. Sorry, buddy. We're going to take the best face in the business, Mr. Daniel Crimmins, and we're going to divide that by the actual confidence Mr. Kirkendall had in actually being victorious. He hasn't won a promo yet and has failed to deliver on what he was actually going to do. So that brings us to a round number of 0. But there's not, it's not over yet. There's still hope. We've got quite a couple of weeks to go here. Now we're going to add in the ridiculousness of Mr. Burnham's promos, which, side note by the way, Mr. Burnham, I haven't watched any promos throughout this whole climax, really, because I just don't give a shit. But I've actually did watch 2, and they were both yours, and I found them very entertaining. So, bravo, good sir. You still suck, though. I mean, I just want you to know that. So we're going to take all that ridiculousness we're going to factor in everything else together. We're going to add in Monty Lynn. I think she's a 10, but you subtract about 7, and that will bring her to a 3.5, which will take that 0 and turn it into a -3, which is going to get us the results of the equation here as to why I am going to win the promo climax.
Well, I guess I'm gonna have to predict Full Gear all by myself. So, yeah, here we go. All right. Pre-show match. Right off the bat, I have absolutely no idea why this is happening. Nyla Rose and Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru Shida and Thunder Rosa. I'm just gonna go straight for Shida and Rosa because, again, no idea why the match is happening. But yeah, whatever. Don't get it, but should be a fun match ish. Thankfully, it's on the not the pre-show, the buy-in show. So, on to the main card. We have 9 matches, which I'm sure will be enough to keep me up all night. So, let's kick it off with what I expect to kick off the show: the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament Final. Bryan Danielson, B-Dry versus Miro. My prediction is probably predictable. Bryan Danielson, purely because Miro was added to the tournament, and unless they changed their minds like halfway through the tournament, it seems B-Dry was always destined to get to the final round, which means he was probably always destined to win. Unless Mox was going to win, I don't know. But Miro obviously wasn't in the original plans, so I'm going with B-Dry. And again, we talked about this last week. It's probably going to lead to babyface versus babyface for the world title, which is fine. But yeah, you would normally expect a heel to be the first challenger for a huge babyface champion, which we'll get to in just a little bit. But B-Dry is obviously the favorite in this tournament, so that's my pick. Match number 2. Let's go with the Falls Count Anywhere, which is gonna be a clusterfuck. Well, Christian Cage and Jurassic Express versus the Super Click, Adam Cole, baby, and the Young Bucks. So my prediction for this one boils down to the fact that Cage and Jurassic Express have been making Super Click their bitches. They've just got the upper hand every time they've come to blows in recent weeks. And of course, that even led to a pretty vicious concerto to Adam Cole, actually. I mean, Cage is the babyface, Adam Cole's the heel. That was a little bit uncalled for. Poor Adam Cole. So, based on all of that, I'm going with the Super Click. Cage is just coming back into AEW after losing the Impact World title. Jurassic Express are always going to be over, but Adam Cole hasn't quite made an impact in AEW yet since his debut. His debut is huge. And he really hasn't done much since then besides fool around with the Young Bucks and get kissed by the Young Bucks. So I think Cole needs a big win, and we need to kind of see that mean streak from Adam Cole. So I expect some retaliation on Cage and Super Click to get the victory in this all-out brawl. Next, we'll go with Darby Allin and MJF. It's kind of tough because both kind of need a win. But I think Darby Allin needs to win more. MJF is always going to be seen as the biggest asshole on the planet because of how good of a heel he is. So I don't think losing a match does anything whatsoever. I mean, he barely wrestles half the time anyway. He just comes out and cuts scathing promos. So, coming off of Darby Allin's last big match with Punk, and obviously losing it, I think Darby needs to regain some momentum. So I pick Darby Allin to get the win, regain a little bit of momentum, and MJF moves on to feud with the next poor soul. There's a couple of tag matches on the card. Next tag match, we have Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo versus versus Pac and Cody Rhodes. Hell of a performance by Pac last night on Dynamite, by the way. But it still seems kind of an unlikely duo in Pac and Cody. So I don't know if I see them failing to coexist, or if they're just going to be a little bit of miscommunication, or if they're literally just going to get caught out. But there's a lot more cohesiveness between Malachi and Andrade. And let's be honest, the feud between Malachi and Cody, Malachi got 2 wins from it, Cody got the final win. And obviously people weren't happy about it. You know, people are beginning to reject Cody. So I think Malachi and Andrade getting the win would be great for Malachi. And great for Andrade. But I think it would really help the boiling tension between the audience and Cody Rhodes if he takes the L in this match, and particularly from Malachi. Because I mean, technically Malachi won the feud 2 out of 3, but then of course Cody got a little bit of revenge with his win. So I think Malachi needs to take one back again, and then can we just move on, please? Cody can go feud with somebody else. Maybe Malachi and Andrade can go after the tag titles. I don't know. They make a good team. Speaking of team, Lucha Bros are, of course, the AEW World Tag Team Champions. They'll be defending against FTR. Straight up tag match, which I guess is right in FTR's wheelhouse, but way too soon for me for Lucha Bros to even consider dropping those belts. So I don't see FTR taking them back in this match. Lucha Bros are on a roll right now, so keep those belts on them. I would say for as long as possible, but FTR are too good to go too long without gold. So I definitely see them winning the titles back at some point down the line, but right now just keep them on Lucha Bros. We have, of course, the Women's World Championship, Britt Baker and Tay Conti. First of all, it's about fucking time Tay Conti was showcased for as good as she is. She stood out in NXT, but never really got the chance to amount to much. And she has very quickly become one of the top women in AEW. Now, if it wasn't up against Britt Baker, I'd say she has a good shot, because she really did look like a star this past week, last night on Dynamite. But Britt Baker's just in a league of her own. As much as I want to see Tay Conti gain some success and gain some gold, Britt Baker's too good right now to even consider taking the title away from her. She is completely in control of that women's division. And how long has she been champion now? 165 days, so yeah, way too soon to take that title from her. I actually wouldn't be surprised if she beats Shida's record of 372, or at the very least holds it for a year. So, yeah. It used to be Deonna Purrazzo was the safest bet on pay-per-view, but Britt Baker right now is the safest bet when it comes to women's title matches. So, mad respect for Ty Conti, but Britt Baker is the one. Oh my God, this match. CM Punk. It still looks weird seeing his name on a match card, but CM Punk versus Eddie Kingston. Holy shit. It's... First of all, the segment on Rampage was out of this world. And this is exactly what we've waited for 7 years for. It wasn't to see CM Punk, just walk out on stage and hear Cult of Personality. It was CM Punk sinking his teeth into a feud, and this is exactly what he's done with Eddie Kingston. Since he came back to wrestling and debuted in AEW, we've seen happy-go-lucky Punk, or Love Fest Punk, as Taz called it. And it's been nice, seeing him so happy and seeing him interact with the fans and literally just be happy to be in a wrestling ring, having good matches with great talent. But Punk is a hell of a storyteller. And Eddie Kingston is absolutely untouchable at selling a feud on the mic. He has so much acid in his tongue. He makes you believe every single word. And, maybe he is putting a lot of true feelings into this. I don't know exactly what happened between Eddie Kingston and the indie locker room back in the day. Or if there is genuine animosity there, or if they are just this good. But Punk and Eddie are just on fire with this feud, and I actually think Kingston will be the first person to beat Punk in AEW. I think, first of all, he needs the win, because he really hasn't had much luck in AEW. He's just been known as this great talker who hasn't won much. And... he's lost his tag team partner in Mox for the time being. He's lost a couple of title matches, I think. So Eddie definitely needs some success. And I don't think Punk would have a problem putting Eddie Kingston over. I don't think he had a problem putting Darby Allin over, but the problem was that was his first match in 7 years. He couldn't afford to lose it. But now Punk has established himself as, he's back in wrestling. He's had a good few months in AEW. I think now is a good time to do the job for Eddie Kingston. And I think fans would be a little less forgiving if Punk beat Kingston, because Eddie Kingston's a popular guy, and in the story he's he's kind of coming off as the victim. So I think it makes perfect sense for Eddie Kingston to win. And it obviously would be huge for him to be the first person in 7 years to pin CM Punk or tap out CM Punk or whatever. But first person in 7 years to beat CM Punk, it would be huge for Eddie Kingston. He can go on to bigger things. Punk would still be in good favor with the fans, so I think that would be the right call for Punk to put Eddie over. Minneapolis Street Fight. Inner Circles, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz versus Men of the Year, Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, and American Top Teams, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Fat Face Dipshit, Dan Lambert. First of all, I don't want to pick at Dan Lambert, who, he's not a wrestler, but man, that powerbomb to Jericho last night through the table, almost Dudley Boy style, almost went very badly wrong. Fortunately, they realized that Dan wasn't going to be able to carry Jericho all the way down in perfect time, so they helped him powerbomb Jericho through the table. But as far as the street fight goes, Moses and I talked about this last week, and it's a tough one to call because the MMA guys don't want to look weak coming up, losing to the wrestlers, the fake fighters, whatever. But at the same time, this is Inner Circle defending not just wrestling, not just AEW, but wrestling. And there's a couple of scenarios. I mean, Jericho could get the win on Lambert, which wouldn't really hurt anybody. Or Men of the Year could get the win for their team because they are the wrestlers, so that wouldn't really hurt Inner Circle. But we know AEW prefer to try to please the fans, unlike the other company. So I think they please the fans with Jericho just getting one over on Dan Lambert. I mean, I think that's what this has all been leading up to, Jericho embarrassing the fat-faced dipshit. So Jericho gets the win for Inner Circle. It's a street fight. There's 10 people involved. It's going to be chaos. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to single somebody out. So I think, chaos everywhere, all around the arena. And it just ends up with Jericho and Lambert in the middle of the ring. And I don't really feel like I need to predict the main event. Kenny Omega defending the world title against Hangman Adam Page. Oh, it's the payoff to one of the longest stories in years. We keep hearing the phrase long-term storytelling. There's no denying it. Long-term storytelling is a lost art form, particularly in WWE, because the majority of their fan base have the attention span or the patience of a 5-year-old, so they can't tell long-term stories in WWE because the fans will just get bored of it, turn on it, look at Daniel Bryan, Road to WrestleMania. Yeah, it was still huge, but a lot of people still turned on him halfway through. It's tough to really pinpoint exactly where this story began. Most people have now pretty much got it down to it's been told since the very beginning. If you go back to AEW's announcement, the announcement of AEW on being the Elite, obviously Cody and the Bucks had Double or Nothing on their phone screens, and then Adam Page was like, I got something different on mine, and it was the AEW logo. So literally, Adam Page was the one who announced AEW as a thing. And of course, ever since then, he's had some success. He had a hell of a run with Kenny as tag team champions. And then, of course, he lost his smile. He's been the underdog for a long time. He lost his confidence, he fell out of favor with the Elite. He found the Dark Order. He struggled to get wins. He lost a title match before to Kenny. Now is the perfect time. Some people may disagree. Maybe he needs more heat, so I've read, but I think if they don't pull the trigger now, because everybody is expecting it, I think it'll blow back in AEW's faces. So, it may be very predictable, but I don't think there's anything wrong with rewarding Adam Page and rewarding the fans with this long-term story, and finally concluding it with Hangman finally getting the dub and becoming the world champion. I mean, I said when obviously he was against Jericho in the first ever AEW World Title match, and it made sense, to introduce your company by putting the world title on a recognized face. Everybody knows Chris Jericho, and it was okay because I think most of us were pretty confident that he will be champion someday. It just made more sense to introduce the title with a huge name like Jericho, but now is Adam Page's time. He's over as fuck. He's established himself as one of the top guys in AEW. He's been patient. He's put the work in. He looks like a star. If not now, when? I think if not now, the momentum will fade. So now is the time for Hangman to become the world champion, and like we said, then it's probably going to be Bryan Danielson versus Adam Page for the world title, which is fine, even though it's face versus face. They're going to pull on a hell of a match. And again, that may be B-Dry's first loss, which again would be huge for Adam Page. So there you go. Those are Full Gear predictions.
'Cause I'm sick of standing up instead of going down. I'm sick of never being able to cross the line. I'm sick of pretending everything is fine. You got it, you're just a freak like me.
Robert Davis, one of the most brilliant and creative people I've ever known. After everything you've done in a promo order, before it was even an order, when it was just a bunch of people in a tournament since day one, and I can't let you walk off into the sunset without a proper goodbye. At the aptly named Promo Series 6, Justice Day, I invite you for one last ride. With the Shape.
They're a part of me. They try to consume me every day. Your kind, I'm very familiar with. I've learned in my years that you have to accept your demons. They are a part of you now. You are a part of me, demons. But I want you to know that I am a part of you. You see, I fought your kind before. To this day, I'm still doing battle with them. Sometimes I win, but sometimes I lose. I fought for so long that I've become one myself. When darkness falls, we are reborn. But what is darkness to us? Nothing more than absence of light. You will not prevail. I will come cascading a force into lights which you have never seen. Demons bleed, and I will find a way to fit that into reality. You will bleed, demoness. I will make sure of it. Your nightmare is here, and soon you will sleep. For I am nefarious upon you, demoness. Goodbye. And good night.
Normally this would be Moses' segment, but I'm going to take it this week, so I've actually got two to get through, so here's the Geek of the Week.
Pencil neck geek, grit-eating freak, scum-sucking peahead with a lousy physique. He's a one-man, no-cut, losing streak. Nothing but a pencil neck geek. Pencil neck geek.
So, first of all, I'm going to get into this in a little bit when I talk about NXT, but first Geek of the Week is whichever fucking geek came up with the fucking name Jacket Time. You're a motherfucking geek. Now, second Geek of the Week, Duke Hudson. Just Duke Hudson. I don't give a shit about you playing poker, dude. I don't give a shit. I'm not watching Poker Stars. I'm watching fucking wrestling. I don't give a shit if you got a full house or not. I didn't care for the segments last week. And I also didn't appreciate you calling Cameron Grimes a hick. I did like Cameron Grimes getting fired up in the segment, though. I think it's about damn time we saw a little bit of a angry side to Cameron Grimes, because he is such a fun character, but, you know, the dude can wrestle, and when he gets serious, dude's dangerous. So, Cameron Grimes, you exemplified all my feelings this week on getting bowed up on Duke Hudson, because that motherfucker is a Geek of the Week. And let's get straight into Wrestler of the Week, because it's fresh in my mind, and we've just done predictions for Full Gear, so hit the music. Wrestler of the Week, because it made me believe that this person is a star, even though I don't think they're going to win, purely because of who they're against. But if this person was against anybody else, I would fully believe that they were going to win. So, my Wrestler of the Week is Ty Conti. She absolutely looked amazing last night, in terms of looking like a legit challenger. And she, you know, her future has to be bright. I don't, like I said, I don't expect her to beat Britt Baker, but you know, Tony, don't forget about Ty Conti. You know, once this Britt Baker reign is over, don't forget about Ty. She's got potential, my man. So what else has been happening this week? So we've got Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch confirmed for the Raw Women's Championship. Okay, we kind of knew we were getting it last week. This is classic WWE. Let's tease a new challenger and then have them win a multi-person qualifier, as if any of the other fuckers were ever gonna win. They did exactly the same thing with Shayna Baszler, with Becky Lynch, but you know, whatever. I'm not exactly sure when the match is gonna happen, because obviously Survivor Series is champion versus champion, you know, brand versus brand, and at the moment we are stuck with Becky versus Charlotte for the 271st time. Actually, Chad was at a WWE event last night, and the main event was Charlotte versus Sasha Banks, again for like the 200th time. Honestly, if I knew that was the main event, I'd have walked the fuck out of there. I don't give a shit. So yeah, I'm not complaining that we got Liv Morgan versus Becky. I'm just complaining about the way they did it, because it was, we already knew it was going to happen. What was the point in the Fatal 5-Way on Raw if we all knew Liv was going to challenge Becky? Excuse me. You literally teased it backstage last week. What? And I said Adam Page and Kenny Omega was predictable. But anyway, do I see Liv Morgan dethroning Becky Lynch? Oh, I think it would be huge for Liv. Like many people have complained about recently, she's had so many false starts to a push that it's become a joke. And it makes no sense because, again, she's just like Adam Page, she's over as fuck. Becky has been champion every active day since WrestleMania 35. Every active day. So, combined, she's... I think, what is she approaching? Becky 500 or something? I think the hashtag was. So, I don't think there's a problem with her dropping the title. Again, I don't know when the match is going to be. They didn't announce it. They just said Liv Morgan's going to challenge Becky Lynch. Maybe it'll be the night after Survivor Series. I don't know. But I would not be surprised, actually, if Becky dropped the title to Liv Morgan. I mean, I would be surprised because it would be WWE doing a good thing. But again, they've been teasing Liv Morgan's push for so long now. You just doubt every time she gets close to it. So you know what WWE doing? They're edging us with Liv Morgan, and it sucks. Just, if you're gonna push her, fucking push her. I mean, and as far as women goes, NXT has basically become Toxic Tuesday. The only thing that matters right now in NXT is Toxic Attraction. Mandy Rose is absolutely fucking killing it. Although, I mean, to be honest, actually, the only thing that matters in NXT is the women's division. The women right now are owning NXT, and it's great to see. But it's kind of been like that for a while in NXT. The women often outshine the men in NXT. There's just so much great talent in that women's locker room. And to see, Raquel and Dakota Kai continue their feud with the addition of Cora Jade, kind of getting involved, but then taking a step back for Raquel to do her thing, is cool. It's cool to see Cora Jade, getting herself into storylines. I've spoke about her before on the show, how I heard she was signed to NXT like a year before they announced it, which made very little sense, but I'm excited to see her do big things in NXT. And then we also got a tease for Kaylee Ray and Mandy Rose, which I'm all for. Let's do it. So on the men's side of NXT, fuck me. So Boa has basically taken Finn Balor's demon gimmick. Now flickering red lights regenerates him and turns him into a badass and turns him into beast mode. What the fuck? Whatever. And then you've got fucking Jacket Club. Jacket fucking Club. Are you people still gonna try and tell me that Vince and Pritchard don't have their fingerprints on NXT? Because who the fuck came up with that name? Who was it? It had to be Vince. That's completely a Vince thing. And I'll tell you what else is definitely a Vince thing. The whole conversation between Jiro and Kushida. You're Japanese, I am Japanese too. Yeah, that's Vince's entire basis for a tag team. they're the same nationality, they can team up. Fuck off, Vince. That's Vince 101 is what that is. It's bullshit is what that is. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. It's so difficult when you have a co-host every single week for 6 years, and you've got nobody to bounce back off. Moses would have made this twice as long because, you know, he would have had his own opinions. So what I'm going to do is hype up next week's promo series, because I don't know how to describe Ring of Games unless you're a House of Games fan. If obviously you've never seen House of Games, so go to YouTube and just look up Richard Osman's House of Games. That's literally what we're going to do next week, but wrestling. And I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. It's completely unique in forms of quizzing, and even more unique, you know, making it a wrestling version of it. And, you know, add to that, we're going to make it for the TV championship. The first ever TV champion is going to be crowned in the Ring of Games. So, promo series next week is going to be big. There's a lot of trivia. It's the first special event of the new era of Max Wrestling. Like I said, obviously there's no promo championship anymore. So it's kind of bittersweet. Well, it was going to be bittersweet because this was going to be the first special event since the addition of the promo title without the promo championship, and also it was going to be the third anniversary of the promo championship. We introduced that at promo series in 2018, so it's kind of poetic, really, that we're introducing a new championship to replace the promo title at the same event that the promo title was born on. So it's kind of bittersweet. We lost one title, but we're replacing it with another one, which is just as exciting. So again, let me just explain the TV title. It's going to be determined by trivia, but the champion will have to cut a promo every 30 days at least in order to keep the championship. Moses has promised that if he wins the TV title, he's gonna cut a promo every week because he looks at the TV title as the workhorse title. Moses is nothing if not a workhorse. We know that. Robert Davis, The Shape. I've been promoting it, but nobody seems to actually know if Robert is still going to show up, because of course the Blackhearts left the promo order a couple of months ago. So I don't know if you're going to get what I've been promoting, but you're definitely going to get a promo from The Shape either way. And no matter what, it's still going to be a celebration of Robert Davis's tenure on Max Wrestling, which I am so appreciative of and can't say enough good things about. And I just don't know how to express how grateful I and everybody else has been to experience the Robert Davis train. So we'll see what happens at promo series, because again, it's just a promo exhibition. And as for the World Championship, that's also a promo exhibition, but it's predetermined, so there is a winner, but they decide, not us. We eliminated public votes because that was why we had to get rid of the promo championship. There was just too many problems, name throw in and, shot taking, and the vote system just wasn't working. It was working because the system was technically fair. Yes, you could vote as many times as you wanted, but like I said, if there's any more than 2 votes from one same person in a day, I deleted them. But, you know, it felt like people weren't getting the message, so. Voting on promos is gone. Promo Championship is gone. We've tried to eliminate that competitive element to promos, so the only competition we focus on now is knowledge and trivia, because, let's face it, you can't be accused of faking that, right? It's all down to how much you know. But the World Championship has always been determined via knowledge or promo, and it's mainly going to be knowledge, but Chad and Moses decided that they would like to keep the promo stipulation, because the difference with the World Championship was it wasn't public vote. If it was a promo bout, it would be determined by people involved. So, just like you saw with the Shape and the Phoenix in the Cinematic Showdown, and just like you saw the Demoness technically defeat the Kingpin by ripping out his tongue, this is going to be a predetermined result. Moses and Chad knows who's going to walk away with the world title. I don't know. You guys don't know. None of us are going to know until Promo Series. So, there we go. Promo Series is next week. I have done my best to promote this show for the past couple of months since Promo Slam. It's been a lot tougher to promote since the promo order fell apart. I hope, my intention for Promo Series is to go back to the happy place. Remember Max Wrestling, the happy place? My hope is to reinvigorate everybody's passion for the championships in Max Wrestling. And, you know, as far as Full Gear goes, Mike is defending the Predictions Championship. As of this week, he has broken Travis Anderson's record for the longest reign as Predictions Champion, which was previously 42 days. As of today, Mike is on 45. So congratulations, Mike. I know you'll be listening. And again, with Mike being mentioned, last week we announced Mike would be leaving his permanent seat on Max Wrestling. He'll be showing up occasionally. But yeah, it's been a hell of a ride for Mike. He's been here almost as long as I have. Obviously, I've only ever missed one episode, and after me, Mike has appeared on the most episodes. He has his handprints all over Max Wrestling history. He's the longest reigning Knowledge Champion ever. He's now the longest reigning Predictions Champion. It's weird, but we've gone through a lot of lineup changes over the years, and it's just something we'll adjust to. But it's kind of poetic that Promo Series 1 in 2016 was Mike's first special event, and he's now going to be bowing out at the same event. So, Mike, thank you very much for your services. It's been a hell of a ride. You know, it's not goodbye, it's just till next time. So, ladies and gentlemen, Promo Series 6 has a lot going on. Make sure you're there next week, and your week for this week is now complete. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us at Max Wrestling UK on social media. And of course, thank you to everybody on SoundCloud. We love those downloads. And of course, our website, as always, is maxwrestling.net. Follow us on social media at TheCaptain512, at SMRPodNet, and for the last time on a weekly show, at MCL92. Now, normally all you Pencil Neck geeks would have to listen up at this point, because Moses Marquez would tell you what he has in store this week, but of course, Moses isn't here this week, so, just make sure you check out Smart Mark Radio and see everything Moses is up to, including Bolt Rant. And Mike, of course, one of the busiest guys I know, constantly putting out content. You can check out his Impact show with Daniel Crimmins, and of course LFC. Of course, he was the special guest ring announcer recently at Booty Camp 3D. Mike is doing big things. And again, I am very sorry. This is probably the shortest episode we've ever done, apart from the Halloween episode last year where we lost the whole fucking show and I had to just fill it with classic promos. You stupid piece of shit computer. But anyway, I digress. Normally by this time somebody has jumped on, but looks like I've done the entire show by myself for the first time. So next week, I'm definitely not going to be short of company. We got so many people involved. We got, the 4 pillars of the new era of Max Wrestling: Phoenix, Chad, Moses, Travis, all competing for championships, and of course the Shape, Robert Davis. So with that said, we will see you for Promo Series 6 Justice Day. We got knowledge galore and 2 promo exhibitions, and of course predictions for Survivor Series. Remember, it all kicks off with a pre-launch show on Tuesday, November 16th, where we crown our first ever TV champion in the Ring of Games. Go YouTube some House of Games now so you know what to expect, and also go watch some wrestling, then come back and listen to us talk about it. Goodbye, and good night.